Hello, my name is Stephen Taylor, and I'm here to talk about the game we had made for the Collaborate project between game design and animation students. The game that we've made is called Boris in the Cave. And let me just turn the volume down a little bit. There we go. So Boris in the Cave is the game we made, and we really wanted to. We were looking into Greek mythology, mythos, and there was a section about a game called, not a game, a mythos called of the Allegory of the Cave, and that's kind of where we based our game from the start. So this talks about shadows, how shadows are going into the cave and the people find it and then escape. So we really wanted to make it like a trapped feeling, so we have these like cages and chains sitting around the fire, and then you have to progress on by supporting this wisp. There are these collectibles that you can also get as well for the cave, and they have quotes on them from the Allegory of the Cave. These can be picked up, they have a sound indication to go through it, and then you can continue for the game. So leaving the first environment, we move into the cave system itself, and we wanted the players kind of feel like they're being led by light. So light was an important factor, so we really had to seal off this cave to make it quite a sealed environment and let players explore with the light elements. These light elements, especially the blue crystal you can see here, is kind of what is the indication for the player to follow. There are other lights that allow players to explore and go by. So if you leave the wisp, it will stay there, and then it will allow you to explore. For example, we have a red light here that's around the corner, and we did that in the way technically, so we could have players be like, there's something to explore around here, and then this allows them to go through. There's a passive way, but we won't allow them to go through this way, but to give them the indication that there's something on the other side, so that there's another area to explore. And then you can retrack your place where the wisp is and follow it again. The actual range for the wisp was a lot closer before, so we had to increase the range of where the wisp moves. Otherwise you couldn't actually see where it was and you would overtake it. And this leads to our second environment in the cave, and this is the green section of the crystal cave. This we actually applied the emission of the same for the same texture into the emission, and it gave us this really nice glowing effect with the lighting we've done. And it's kind of what we were looking for the players to look around and be like, this cave system, wow. And then there's also little side caves as well that players can explore, and it will be another type of color scheme, a different color scheme of the crystal section. However, we've used lighting. We placed these blocks, these stone tablets, in places where the lighting, so you can read these quotes and allow the object to be interacted with. So going back to the cave system, we find where the wisp is again, and then as you can see, there's these blue indicators showing where the direction to go. So we have the core mechanic, which is our wisp leading us through the cave, and then it goes into this like the sublight, which is the crystals, to kind of give the player a direction of where they need to go. And then we get to an interactable object. So we now have the lever. There's a hole directly placed in front of the player where the lever is, to show that there's a door moving. So we want the player to see that, so they know kind of where they have to go. And when that happens, the wisp will leave you. So that can leave you in darkness. However, we do have crystals that do light up down the corridor once that happens. And we have our third stone tablet to collect. So now the player hopefully gets the indication that to follow the lights back, and then we have put a trap hole here with more light to show that this is the way to go, and there is a shortcut that leads the player back to the door. Now another color change of the environment is for the galaxy crystals, and then we have the pedestal here. So this is where more intriguing. What's hopefully getting the player to be curious about, thinking, what is this about? And then we have more interactability that allows the wisp to go down, the music comes in to create the effect, and then we have a material color change here that really brings this pedestal to life. So it was really nice. And we have a portal effect, which you can look around and actually go through. Now, originally you could see this portal effect the sky was open, so you could see through the portal when looking at the sky, which we didn't want because we actually have a color change for the skybox. So we blocked off the cave system, and therefore the portal wouldn't show. This is our then the other environment that we have, which is our island. Now this is our floating island, and as you can see, there's objects in the far distance to give the indication that this is one of many. The bridge system here with the assets kind of give the link between what the cave was and what the island is. So there's actually a color scheme change as well. It goes from darker to lighter, and it leads the bridge to the island, which now is it's kind of a more warm feeling. You're out in the open. The sound's changed. The mushrooms actually give a bit of light as well, so it's kind of following the same core mechanic of where light is kind of given an indication to play, this is where you're going, along with all these flying lights in the sky, the floating lights. Then you bring the assets in. It's kind of a similar color scheme. We wanted a bit of alien-esque feel, but on like the trees and the grass that was designed. We have a ruin system and these floating rocks. And it's more about a peaceful exploring. You've escaped the cave, and you come to the end. There was one issue that we had, and that was we had a HDRI pipeline, which makes things more of a realistic effect, and that would make it look too metallic. So we had to remove that and change, and have the textures remade to reflect what we really wanted. These totems come up in place, and they are based off of the amount of stone tablets you've collected. So if you miss any stone tablets, there will only the totem will not be there for the respective tablet you have missed. And that will conclude the walking simulator for our game. We hope that you download and play it, and that you would enjoy it just as much as we have. So thank you very much for playing.